Hello, everybody. This is going to be a quick demo where we show off how to use this function called substitute, or this method called substitute all, that hopefully you remember from Studio 5. And we're going to end up using it in Dragon. But there's a little bit of a complication that comes up. And so it's going to be easier for us to go and build a little practice thing first. So like I said, hopefully you remember this from Studio 5. It's where we pass in a source string, some character, some to a target character that we want to replace, and the string we want to replace it with in the source string. So the implementation I provided for you, which hopefully your thing from the studio looks something like this, or maybe even a little better. We're going to go through and start it with an empty string. We're going to go through each index in the source string that we pass in, find out the character at that index. If it's the target string, the one that we want to replace, well, let's just add to the result string the replacement. Otherwise, we'll just add the character itself. So if it's not the target character, just keep adding that on, and we'll return that result. And like I said, we're going to use that in Dragon multiple times, actually. But before we do that, let's go ahead and build a little example program over here. And it'll be easier, I think, to get this tricky little case working in the simpler version, and then go on and you'll apply the same sort of technique in Dragon. So let's start off with a little string. We're going to call it just text, and it's going to be G underscore L. And this is going to be Gimli and Legolas, two characters from the Lord of the Rings. They're actually the main characters in Lord of the Rings. Those of you not familiar with it. Some people say that Frodo is the main character, or even Sam, but it in fact is Gimli and Legolas. For those of you wondering, that's probably not going to be on the exam, so don't worry about it. So let's go ahead and call this method. And so I've already imported it here, but I'm going to call this text prime. So it's going to be, so the substituted version. And let's call recursive methods, and I just hit control space there to invoke content assist. And we're going to call, not Dragon, I'm going to call substitute all. With this string text, I want to replace, let's say we're going to replace the G, be the target. I'm going to replace that, so comma, with Gimli. And if I print that out, text prime, right, and I run this, you're going to see we're going to take this string G underscore L, replace all the G's in here with Gimli, and I end up with Gimli underscore L, right? So let's make another one, and we'll call it text prime prime. So it's sort of the second derivative. And we're going to replace L with Legolas. Now I've left it, there's a bug in here already where I didn't pass in text prime, I just passed in text here. So when I print this out, it's not going to do both, it's just going to do one of them because I want to pass this here, but the computer is really good at doing what you tell it to do and not good at what you think you want it to do. And so you can see the Gimli replaced the G. I did a separate one where Legolas replaced the L and all as well. Now, when I pass this in here, which is what I was sort of intending, place the G first, then take that result and replace the L, right? We'll get this not quite what I was hoping for result. So you can see it's Gim Legolasly, or Gim Legolasy Legolas, right? And so I'm going to want you all to pause the video for a second and sort of figure out what has gone wrong here. Okay, and we're back. So hopefully a lot of you came up with the idea that, oh, well, and I chose this example specifically for this, right? That, well, when I just replaced Gimli, it put in an L into the string so that it replaced both, it's going to substitute all. It replaced both this L and that L with Legolas. So we got two Legolases, which, I mean, double Legolas is pretty good, but that's not exactly what we're looking for. You could hope that, all right, well, let me just reverse the order. Maybe that'll work. And I specifically chose this example because it's not going to, just as a heads up. Gimli. So when I do this now, it gives me a different result, like Gimli works, right, for the G, but then now I get leg Gimliolas, right, because the same problem happened in reverse. So what I want you to think about is how to solve this problem. And oftentimes we want to solve things in a general way, right? And we're looking for our methods to be generally useful. In this case, I want you to just think about solve it just for this case. So I want you to just solve this problem for G underscore L. I want to replace Legolas and Gimli. This will help you when you come over here to do Dragon, where you have a very specific thing also, where a simple, elegant solution will solve the problem for both cases, right? May not feel like the most general solution, but it will get things done for this task, which is all we need. So with that, good luck on this assignment. Have fun. And if you run into trouble, we'll be here to help.